You don't have to have been the best salesperson in the world, but having the actual experience of a salesperson is going to be so influential for you to be able to gain and garner the respect of your team for a few reasons. One of the first thoughts that comes into the mind of a salesperson, especially when a new manager or leader comes in place, is this person someone worth listening to? And the only way to become someone worth listening to is to be able to communicate the things that they're going to care about. And the only way that you'll do that is by having lived it and being able to explain, speak to it, and allow them to see that you understand what it is that they are going through. That is what's going to build their trust in you. And trust is one of the most important parts of being a successful sales leader or manager. And this lack of experience usually is the number one thing that people hate with sales managers that they are working under. They might have an idealistic understanding or an unrealistic expectation of what the sales job actually entails. There was one point in time I had a manager who was a marketer and kind of was treating us the way that he was treating marketing. And he didn't understand that sales have sales cycles and that everyone's a one-call close, and that people need to have a certain amount of material sent to them to trust our brand before they'll make a purchase decision. But he just didn't understand why everybody wasn't buying on the spot. And that always created a level of conflict. But what was even worse is when he would look at our calls and give us some half-assed feedback around how we could have done things differently to get the sale, knowing damn well that he had never closed one of these deals in his life, and had he tried what he'd recommended in a call, it for sure wouldn't work. Or even worse, the manager that insists on forcing you to use a process that just sucks. And this process is usually one that has way too many steps, and it's very clear that it's been engineered on paper without being put into practice. And that's where just respect and trust falls apart for me as a salesperson, and where I've seen it break down on sales teams. Having somebody lead that has never done the thing and can't communicate, set expectations, or lead the team in an effective manner. Now, once more, I said it a moment ago, but you don't have to have been a top producing salesperson. You just have to have been a salesperson. When I stepped into my first management position for a sales agency a couple of years ago, I knew that I hadn't had the size of resume that maybe the typical sales manager would have. But what I did have was the experience and ability to articulate myself and comfort leading other people, and that's what allowed them to take a bet on me and believe in my ability as a leader. But I'd also done one-on-one calls with people on my account where I trained them and showed them how to sell, and then being able to see me coach in real time was a very beneficial thing. Now, not often are best salespeople great managers because they just don't have that ability to give, lead, and train and develop other people, and I happen to have a little bit of a knack for that, which is what made me stand out as a candidate in their eyes.